For over a decade now, the conflict of two clans with a thin line between them has left hundreds dead or injured and thousands displaced from their homes. Some, like 2-year-old baby Amin Hassan, have been crippled after the loss of all his limbs as their house was set on fire. Now, whether it is the scramble for power, space or resources, the current and previous governments have been wringing their hands in defeat. KTN'S Ian Wafula brings us this special report on the forgotten war of the Garre and Degodia clans.
It was a whole day's event, indiscriminate shooting, multiple injuries and death.
Last Dispatch Center. My name is Carol. How may I help you?
Distress calls received at the Kenya Red Cross Emergency Call Center from Ramu Town indicated that at least 43 people had been injured, and instantly ambulances were dispatched from Mandera Town, but they too were not spared. At exactly 8:40 p.m. same day, just 15 kilometers to Ramu, gunmen attacked an ambulance and its personnel, injuring one of them. They were later to be saved by police from nearby thickets, while their vehicle was vandalized and rendered non-functional.
I cannot, and I will not, and I shall not risk the lives of ordinary young men and women who are staff and volunteer of the Kenya Red Cross. So I'm saying, as far as Mandera North Sub-County is concerned, in Ramu Town, we will now suspend our activities as of today. One of the things also these communities do is they hide facts of how many people are killed. Like yesterday, it will be very hard for you to know how many people were killed.
This is the story of a never-ending war, one that is vicious and deadly, yet so far removed from daily conversations in the country. This is Kenya's forgotten war.
If somebody is slaughtered like an animal, the next day it will be me. So I think Ramu is not somewhere people can live together from now.
The attack on Sunday, the 24th of August, was just the beginning of one of the worst interclan conflicts witnessed here in Ramu Town, characterized by hate and vengeance. In fact, where I'm standing here right now is just the borderline dividing the town into two. The Degodia side is on the right, while the Garre side is on the left. None of them can make way to this point for fear of being attacked. On the streets of this small town at the Kenya-Ethiopia border, tension remains palpable. The billowing clouds of smoke from the torched houses, now the constant reminder of what has become of a once vibrant and peaceful town. The few donkeys and herds of goats that escaped death are just the only sense of life on the streets, while the town's ambience is filled by the smell of both the carcasses and human bodies decomposing away in the freshly dug graves. Away from town, scores of families stick to their houses. Mothers in last-minute rush to get a share of the scarce food from the temporary market. Children passing time in their games just a day before schools are scheduled to open, while politics and current affairs are left for the gentlemen.
Look at this. There's a government. There's a county government here. There's a government here. And nobody is taking care of our houses. Our houses have been destructed like this. Shida and Andela heavy. The school, the neighboring school is being destroyed. There's nothing which is being done. So,
but some, like Mohammed Musa, are counting their losses. He takes us to what was once his compound.
This is my house. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm a head teacher. In Nyumba imechomwa, the whole of this area. Huku vitu yote ikaenda now. So I'm left around with my children. Natasa nataka kuenda Sala, which is in Lefi sub-county, to get refuge there and get a rented house.
On the morning gunmen struck, one of Musa's neighbors and a man he had regarded as a good friend was among those who touched his house as he watched helplessly from a distance.
We were friends, we were I was just assisting even that poor man. Huyu mama msanaki, imagine daktari anatuletea dawa. If my children are sick, he goes and treat them.
The conflict has lingered on for close to a decade now, but Musa says this is the worst episode he has ever experienced.
Mtu kuniambia you are a Degodia and you are supposed to go back to Wajir. How do you feel? I will not go back. There's no way. I'll fight for my right. I'll fight for my life. In a way in which weza. Nikiona nimeshindwa if I see my life is endangered, I'll better run away.
But Musa isn't the only one reeling from the orgy of death and destruction here. Hundreds of families have taken refuge near police stations for safety. At this point, water and food scarcity have reached their peak. Every meal is treated as the last. Not too far away, this family has had enough. With the little money they have left, they hire a van and load all their earthly possessions. Destination Mandera town. They don't know if or when they will return. We come across 67-year-old Mzee Amin Hassan. He just moved to Ramu town 2 months ago.
Mara ine mayumba yateketezwa na wakolo kidogo na sisi hatutoroka na tunaishi pale tu MB wanakuja nini anakuja najengwa nyumba nyingine ndio ndogo tena tunakaa tatu tunapumulia ya ine ndio tuna wakati makao na kusha nyumba hakuna mali hakuna watoto tu nafsi tu tunatoroka kutoka Wajir mpaka hapa.
It's Mandera County which have brought them. Wajir County, they were displaced. They were ready to be taken back. They refused and they said we want Ram just to come and cause mayhem here. The leaders here agreed. They gave them the transport, they gave them the vehicles. They brought them here. They were giving, the other day they were giving them relief food or something like that as IDPs. Those same people are causing the whole problem in Ramu.
Sisi binafsi nafsi yetu tunatoroka. Hakuna mtu anaamua analeta sisi hapa. Sisi wenyewe ile mbuzi 5 tunayo tunapeleka soko ya banda ya Ogaden. Tunanunua tunatoka na magari ya raia yote ile naendea tunatoa pesa kidogo na changa tunatoroka mpaka hapa.
Allahu Akbar.
On 30th of May 2014, 12 people from the Degodia clan were killed by gunmen at Gunana, a small town at the border of Wajir and Mandera counties, and their bodies transferred to Wajir. The town came to a standstill. Hundreds of residents stand up alongside their leaders to put their own to rest. Majority of them too agitated by the alleged actions of the other clan.
Saa hii watu 30 wamekufa. Watu 30 wamekufa. Garre na Degodia. Mtu mmoja ameshikwa? Hapana. Ndio ujue kuna watu wanataka maskini waendelee kukufa. Na hatukubali. Sisi tukirudi kitu ya kwanza tutauliza ni Olengo resign na security yake yote.
Hatukubali watu yetu kila siku ule 10 5 5 6 6. Tunakubali? Hatukubali. Kama serikali imeshinda kulinda maisha ya watu yake, sisi tutajidefend.
Tunataka serikali yetu kwa sababu uchaguzi imefanyika, tunataka serikali ifanye kazi ili ikifika 2017 tutapingana na hawa na tutarudisha Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga awe rais ya nchi hii kwa sababu hawa inaonekana kazi yao imeenda chini.
Simultaneously, across town, the houses of the Garre community within Wajir were up in flames, majority of them trying to save their belonging as they fled the town. Even clan leaders like 56-year-old Abdullahi Ibrahim were not spared. He was forced to camp at his neighbor's house with his 10 children and 8 grandchildren.
Iko hami hapa si mustoni bali ile shita napigana huko hapana mustoni hapa ni toni bali serikali yote iko hapa si bali ya kunyanyasa wananchi, lakini chini ya serikali imenyanyaswa sisi.
Days later, with the help of administration police, we made way to Gunana, an area that had since been rated as the most unsafe place in the region. Bullet casings are what led our way to the town center. This is as a result of the conflict between the Garre and the Degodia right at the border of Mandera and Wajir counties. This was once known as Gunana village. Today it stands as a ghost town. We had hoped to get at least 1 or 2 people who could be able to account for the events that took place here. Wajir County is largely dominated by the Degodia clan, while the majority in Mandera come from the Garre community. Facts reflected in the makeup of the elected leadership in both counties. And once the conflict in Wajir began, majority of the Garre flee to Mandera, destination Ramu. Ramu is in Mandera North constituency, the only constituency in Mandera County that had a Degodia as a member of parliament until the 2013 general elections. Geographically, the town lies at the border of Kenya and Ethiopia, next to River Dawa and en route to Mandera town. We have transversed across northern parts of Kenya all the way from Wajir to Mandera, and this is arguably the greenest part we have come across. Being here just gives you the perspective as to why those who flee from Wajir would want to settle in Ramu town that is adjacent to River Dawa. Also important to note is that Ethiopia lies just right across the river. A safe haven for the people here, plenty of water from the ever-flowing river, fertile soils, and just the right amount of food to supply the people and their livestock.
Hii maji itasaidia sisi hapa bali baba shamba, kama tunapata makao ya kukaa hapa, ndio tunaona tasaidia sisi. Hakuna bali lingine mnasaidia sisi, kwa maana sisi watu ya family hakuna mali. Hii watoto ujingi hii bali mashamba iko ndio naweza kupata nafuu.
Through the intervention of the county and national government, constant patrols by the administration police and the Kenya Defence Forces have enabled the Kenya Red Cross to resume operation. The most affected at the camps being mothers and children, diarrhea and malnutrition are rife in all camps.
Watoto wangu nimepita na shida nyingi sana. Hata siku ile nimetoroka, wengine hawana sirwali, wengine tumeonana tu asubuhi. Nikatafuta nikaona asubuhi. Wengine hawana sirwali, wengine wakagonjeka, tukakuwa na shida nyingi sana.
Today, if children hear of any kind of sound, they feel that is the shooting of a gun, and these really have affected the children, not only the school-going children, but the children, the women, the mothers, name it. That is why there is a need to conduct some sort of psychological, psychosocial support. The Kenya Red Cross have staffs doing this.
The situation is not good in terms of health services. We are only offering very basic things because our staffs are not here. Most of our staff are run away for their safety. What we have been made to understand that even the periphery facilities, those far-flung facilities like Asabito, Ramodimto and all those, actually the last staff I have evacuated last night, that is at 5 p.m. yesterday. So I think the situation is actually going from bad to worse.
Two-year-old baby Amin is on his way to Mandera for reconstruction surgery. The impact of the conflict will forever remain firmly embedded in his body. Lucky to be alive, he lost his limbs as the fire consumed their house. A bleak future lies ahead for the hundreds of children in the camps. As schools reopen across the country, head teachers Hussein and Mohammed inspect the remains of Al Hidayah Integrated School. This was once an administration block of one of the schools here in Ramu town, believed to have been touched down just because the head teacher is from one of the clans. All crucial documents, including KCPE certificates, were reduced down to ashes.
Any person who has a notion that this institution belongs to a certain community, we are very sorry. This institution caters from children from diverse backgrounds, regardless of their religious background, regardless of their ethnic background. So we request members to protect public institutions rather than destroying them, because this is where the future leaders will be coming from.
It was not possible for me to go to my school. It is in a conflict place that I cannot access as an individual who is targeted because of my clan. Watchmen cannot be there also.
Kadar, a Form 3 student, left Wajir in May. Learning for her was difficult even before the Gunana attacks.
Kusengenya watu nini kufanyia nini. Plates wanaiba, wanasema hawa ni Garre, wacha tuibe plates zao, mavikobe wanaiba, vitabu wanararua. Kile kitu walikuwa wanafanya hivyo.
Even on social media, the hate continues to spread like a bonfire. County flags labeled with clan names are being shared, and hate messages that have fueled the clashes are freely traded on Facebook. As the crisis in Mandera County heightens, Interior Coordination of National Government Cabinet Secretary Joseph Olelenku and Inspector General of Police David Kimayo finally visit the area, and the pledges come thick and fast.
Tumekaa mara nyingi, tumekaa pamoja na viongozi wa kidini, tumekaa kama viongozi wa kisiasa, wajamii wa mili wamekaa kama viongozi, jamii wengine wa Mandera wameingilia, jamii wa Nairobi wameingilia, tumeshindwa. Leo tunataka kujaribu mpango mwingine mpya, juzi tulitangaza.
Leadership is full of challenges. All of you must be able to stand very firm at the worst moment when we are faced with tremendous odds and challenges, and provide leadership as required rather than provide blame game. The national team from the Inspector General of Police, based on the rumors that were shared on TV, had to send senior CID officials in the county to start investigating nothing.
We are calling further to the international raw crimes, for those people who will be affected for all these atrocities of crime that has been committed to the people of this place. We thank you, wananchi mkao kwa salama, mtubashi habari, ili wale wachambazi wakitoka ng'ambo, wakiwa ndani humu, wote washikwe.
Na mimi nasimama kuthibitisha kwamba tayari wengine wa viongozi wamekaa hapa wako kwa rada. Ripoti zinatayarishwa na tutawashika. Shule ambazo zimefungwa, ambaye ni nyingi sana kwa kaunti hii, tunataka kusema sifunguliwe mara moja. Na waafisa wa usalama wa polisi wahakikishe hizo shule zimefunguliwa na zimelindwa. Na walimu warudi shuleni. Na nyinyi wazazi mrudishe watoto shuleni. Hatuwezi endelea kulalamika kwamba sisi Northeastern tunabaguliwa kwa sababu hakuna watoto wetu wanaenda shule chuo kikuu, kwa sababu kila mtu ako na grade mbaya na mnaendelea kufanya shule sifungwe.
But the assurances and stern warnings seem to ring hollow. On the same day, a clash between gunmen and KDF leaves 5 dead and scores injured in Ramu. Later, police announced the arrest of a number of suspects.
Resolution natoka wapi? Nataka wale watu wiko Nairobi ndio wafanye mabango. Hakuna mabango nafanywa.
These people, askari wanazunguka. They go around that side. This side is being banned. They go the other way, the other side is being banned. They cannot control. Leaders can talk to their people, but they are not ready.
Come now. So as we leave Ramu, we can only hope that this time someone in government will walk the talk, and that here, years of animosity can finally give way to lasting. It is what this rich agricultural town deserves. It is what baby Amin can count on, that Kenya's forgotten war can finally come to an end. Ian Wafula, KTN.